5 common social media marketing mistakes to avoid. Coaches and consultants, I'm specifically talking to you. I can't tell you how many coaches and consultants I come across that are either doing zero marketing on social media or they're marketing the wrong way and it's costing them clients. And this is for a number of reasons. Listen, many of the clients that come to me don't even have a social media marketing presence. They built their business on reputation and good old-fashioned hard work and referrals. And they may be really busy and even have a full practice. And yet they'll come to me because they know they're leaving money on the table because they're not actively building their online presence. Other clients come to me and they're doing some social media marketing, but it's not converting. Or perhaps they tried it in the past and they gave up. And these clients hire me to help them put the right strategy in place to build their expert authority and get their leads flowing in. So regardless if you don't have a social media marketing plan in place or you've tried it and failed in the past, you're going to enjoy this video as I break down top 5 common social media marketing mistakes you want to avoid. Hi, I'm Jessica Yarbrough, top business strategist for coaches and consultants who hire me to help them build expert authority in their niche and sell ultra high-end services so that they can scale to high 6 and even multiple 7 figures. As a strategist and someone who is active on social media, I can tell you that I've seen it all. So in this video, I want to break down some of those most common social media marketing mistakes that you can avoid as a business owner. Let's dive in. Number 1 mistake, not showing up consistently. The first social media marketing mistake to avoid is not showing up consistently online. Maybe this is you and you've made a couple of posts or even, done it for a few months at a time and then you just disappear. Look, if you want to create trust with your audience, you need to show up consistently. You may not know what to post. And if you don't, that can be a huge issue because there is a strategy for the types of content you want to push out. And posting just for the sake of posting is not going to get you what you want in terms of building expert authority and creating leads. But the first step is just showing up and to do so consistently. I built a great following on LinkedIn. I can tell you that at least half of my audience or more, they don't even post on LinkedIn, which is totally bananas to me because most of my audience is made up of B2B service providers. And they're not alone. In fact, only 1% of LinkedIn's 260 million monthly active users share post. 1%. And these users are the ones who are netting 9 billion impressions. So if you're a business owner and you're marketing to other businesses and yet you're not taking the time to show up on the #1 B2B social media platform in the world, then let me tell you, you're leaving serious money on the table. Don't make this big social media marketing mistake. Number 2, posting generic or irrelevant content. The next social media marketing mistake is to avoid posting generic or irrelevant content. And what do I mean by this? When I'm talking about generic content, it could mean an inspirational post that doesn't tell you anything about what you do and the problems you solve for the market that you serve. I see a lot of coaches and consultants posting these kinds of inspirational content, and it doesn't enhance your brand or create leads for your business. Another type of content I see people posting is totally irrelevant, especially short videos that are random. But again, don't tell the viewer anything about who you are and how you can help them solve their problem. And I get that some of these views may get a lot of impressions and likes, and they may even get your followers, but you need to ask, are these followers your ideal client? Are they going to eventually buy from you? Are you trying to build a following just for the sake of a following that you cannot convert into paying clients, right? Or do you want ones that you can convert? So you want to avoid posting generic or irrelevant content and be thinking about what can I post to add value to my audience? What can I post to educate them on what I do? What can I post to create trust and nurture them to take a next step towards working with me? This type of content creates a high amount of stickiness, of relevancy, and it generates leads for your business. The others do not. So avoid posting generic or irrelevant content. Number 3, not building your audience. This is another huge social media marketing mistake, people that don't take the time to build an audience. If you have a few hundred or even 1,000 followers and you're wondering why you're posting and no one is buying, it may be because you haven't taken the time to truly build your audience. You don't want to just put out content to educate people if there isn't anyone there to consume it. And on the flip side, you don't want to focus on building your audience without a way to educate them through content that they can consume on who you are and how you can help them. You need to do these 2 strategies simultaneously. Now, you do not need hundreds of thousands of followers or even millions of followers to have a very successful coaching or consulting business. You can have a fairly intimate audience, and if they're decision makers and they're your ideal client, you can successfully convert those into paying clients. Just met my client, a leadership expert who had built a high six-figure business, but had not taken the time to build his social media platform. Once we had this strategy in place, he started actively growing his network, and he landed a six-figure client. And this was a huge milestone for him because it was his first six-figure client generated from an online presence. When he came to me, he didn't have one in the place at all. And without beginning the strategy, this client would have never even become aware of him and ultimately bought from him. Number 4, spamming people. Another social media marketing mistake to avoid that goes right in line with building your audience is do not spam people. In fact, I would say avoid any gray area tactics whatsoever in business. Things like scraping people's emails or phone numbers, adding people to your list without permission. That's super annoying. And I have at least several of my LinkedIn contacts do that every week. I promise you, I'm never going to buy from someone who does something like that. Other things could be spamming in the DM. I'm sure that if you go on your LinkedIn right now, you're likely have lots of messages from people every day who are promising you the world. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is really they hit their audience hard in private messaging, and they do it in a way that feels like a hard sell or spam. Things like, I guarantee you 10 leads per month, or 25 booked appointments, or 75 sales calls. And by the way, if you're getting those messages, please stay away from those companies. They typically don't convert like you hope. They're gonna end up just spamming your audience on your behalf. So yes, you wanna build your audience. And yes, it's good to communicate with your audience that you build, but you wanna do it in a way that is value-based so that you don't just get lost in a sea of sameness among the spammers. Number 5, weakening your positioning. This is another huge common social media marketing mistake that I see all the time. And when I'm talking about weakening your positioning, I'm talking about how you're perceived online. And weakening your positioning can come in many forms, like calling yourself an expert coach or consultant in one area one week, and then 2, 3, 4 weeks later, marketing to a completely different market with different problems and goals. This creates confusion for your audience, and it weakens your positioning as an expert. The types of images you share can help or hurt your positioning. The types of content you can put out can strengthen or weaken your positioning. You really need to have a clear brand identity and stay consistent with this is who I am, this is who I serve, this is how I can help you. I can't tell you how many coaches and consultants I see that confuse their audience, or they put out something that can literally destroy months of credibility that they have spent building. This is why it's essential to work with an expert strategist and have a clear understanding of what your brand is, your messaging, and your positioning, and then stick to the plan so that you can execute on tactics that are in alignment with the plan. And this is especially true if you're going after a higher end market with a more sophisticated buyer and a whole lot more money on the line. This wraps up my video on 5 common social media marketing mistakes to avoid. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and hit share so other entrepreneurs can hear this message. Until next time.